You might have heard it's almost impossible now to start a YouTube channel and be successful in 2018 due to the amount of content creators that are already in existence. This isn't actually the case. It's not as hard as you think it is, as long as you understand how YouTube works. I'm gonna have a little bit of a chat and explain what I've learned over the last 12 years on YouTube and about how you can grow your channel nice and fast. One of the things I can recommend before you even start making YouTube videos, if you haven't used a video camera or a DSLR or anything like that, just research cameras and equipment first. Now, you can make great videos just with your phone, but my suggestion would be, number one, to start strong. Make sure that you start with quality content that looks and sounds great. Invest in a lav mic like a shirt mic or what I'm using right now, which is kind of like a shotgun microphone mounted on top of the camera. You want to make sure that the content you produce looks as good as some of the better YouTube channels out there. Now, your editing will probably suck for a while as well, but that's fine. Start with a good camera. You don't have to do fancy transitions and all that kind of stuff or fancy titles. As long as the premise of the video is good and it gets its point across, all of those things are just an added luxury to the viewer, and it's not an essential part of doing well on YouTube. But my suggestion is, if you're gonna start in 2018, go buy a 4K video camera or DSLR. My two personal suggestions would be a Sony AX53 or a Panasonic G7, or if you can afford it, get the Panasonic G85. Two really great cameras from Panasonic that you can change lenses on. Or you could go ahead and get one like what I'm using right now, which is my car camera, believe it or not, the Sony AX53. And this was my main YouTube camera for about 12 months at one point, and I actually had two of these. So the thing is, when you start out strong, get a good camera, get a good microphone, and half the battle is already won. Even if you've only got one video, someone will see it and go, wow, this actually looks and sounds great, and the information in here is valuable as well. Point number two. Now, depending on what kind of niche you're in, like I said at the start, your video has to be on point. Cut out all the waffling, all the stuff that people won't want to hear, all the ums and ahs, or at least most of them. You can get away with a few. If you're vlogging, make sure there's a lot of edits. You want to cut up those videos, give it a bit of energy. Don't hang on to one sort of thing for too long. And that's one of those things that I think kills a lot of vlog channels, is they're very, very boring. Make sure that wherever you are or whatever you're doing, there's sort of like an energy to it, and try to keep a positive vibe, and also present yourself in a positive manner on any video that you present. And I think that's a huge positive. If you're disheartened and down and out on camera, it's not going to translate well to the viewer, and odds are they won't want to come back. One of the things I can highly recommend doing is be a point of difference from other channels. Don't try and clone another channel. I had a lot of people in the guitar community kind of copy what I do online, and it just didn't work. They looked like they were trying to rip off the style of my videos, and it didn't work. So that's one of those things. Although this is a pretty quick and rough video that I'm putting together right now, the information is highly valuable. So make sure however you do your channel, however you present yourself, is unique to yourself. Don't go copying someone else who's successful. It won't work. Now, I should also point out that it's okay to draw inspiration from a lot of other channels. I do that personally. I also draw huge inspiration from other channels outside of the niche of guitars, for example, and I take all of those different elements, or some of those different elements, and I put them into something new. Not so much about how you film the videos, but just some concepts and things that might be, you know, unique to your own niche. And I think that's really, really popular. For example, if you're going to review something that's been reviewed a million times, odds are you're never going to be found. But if you review something and compare it to something else, that might be more of a niche kind of term, and it might grow your subscription base really, really quickly. Tip number 4 would be this: film it anyway. So what I mean by that is, One of my most successful videos on YouTube has had close to 2 million views right now, and there's another one that's had about 400,000 views in the first couple of months, and they've both done extremely well, and they were videos that I didn't have expectations for doing really, really well. Now, one of the cool things about the way YouTube works is usually the algorithm likes a follow-up video kind of related to the video that did well. So if you can strategize your channel that way, which is what I'm doing with a new channel I'm working on, odds are it's going to grow extremely fast. And that's one of those things that people don't really tell you. So any hot topic stuff will generally do well. If you have one video that reaches a massive audience, follow it up with a second video that's kind of similar, not about the exact same topic, or it can be, but say you review or compare two products, maybe compare to a similar video with two different products. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So follow it up with something related to the original video and use all the same tags and all that kind of stuff, and it should help. Tip number 5, without a question, would be arguably one of the most important ones, would be the thumbnail. A lot of people disregard the thumbnail, or they don't even put a customized thumbnail up. Make sure you do. Make sure the thumbnail represents what's in the video without it being too clickbaity. So if you're reviewing a camera or a guitar or something, odds are it's probably best to have that particular piece of gear fill the entire thumbnail screen or most of it. Now, text is one of those things. I've had videos perform extremely well with no text on the thumbnail, and some that have performed really well with. So it's hard to know if one's better than the other. Just take a photo. Don't just use a still from the video. Actually take your camera or your phone or whatever you can shoot photos on and take a high-res photo. Up the actual sharpness on the image, and also change the levels, which will make the darker parts of the image darker and the brighter parts brighter. Not contrast and brightness. You want to actually do levels. Levels will change the image and make it look a whole lot better, because as you resize it down, having the extra sharpness in the image will also work a treat as well. And if you can put your face in the thumbnail, if you're a vlogger, I think that's a huge plus also. But for product reviews, it doesn't seem to really matter that much. The thumbnail strategy was something that I always sucked at, but I've gone back and I've changed so many thumbnails over the last 6 to 8 months, and I saw a much better performance out of those videos. When I really strategize a particular week on YouTube where I know, or I think to myself, these videos have the potential to do well, I'll brainstorm the thumbnail about as much as I'll put time into the video itself, which is usually a lot. So I try to take photos that will either capture the imagination a little bit, or at least look like something that people want to click on, or stand out from all the other thumbnails in the niche themselves. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Shane. This video has been a little bit different, but I thought, you know what? I know there's a lot of other YouTubers who follow this little channel of mine over here at Shane D Vlogs. So I thought I'd post a video just explaining a little bit about what I know about YouTube and how it works. And it doesn't matter if you're a podcast channel or whether you're just, just a discussion channel. Get a good thumbnail, get a good title, keep it all relevant, and you should do really, really well extremely quick. And if you follow trends, you're going to do even better. Catch you soon.